But on that note, we didn't get to do this last week, but we get to do it this week because it is time for your favorite segment, my favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment. It is time for Cheap Pops.
What does everybody want? What does everybody need?
Oh, another cheap pop.
What does everybody love?
Oh, that cheap pop is there for the taking.
Well, coming up on today's Cheap Pop, Undertaker catches heat, and The Rock ruins WrestleMania. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. And there's a creep in the community. We're going to out him, and we're going to start there, as a matter of fact. You sent me this story. It was weird. So apparently there was this fan, name's not released yet, but he got kicked out not once, but twice from the hotel that he was staying at. It just so happened the NXT talent was staying at too. Why did he get kicked out not once but twice, you asked? Because he decided that he wanted to take pictures of the talent. Still doesn't sound bad. Oh, wait a minute. Their feet. This guy got kicked out.
He's sick.
Yeah, this guy got kicked out. Again, what stuck out to me, it was twice. Not once, but twice. So he gets kicked out, taking pictures of feet. He gets back in somehow, and he gets kicked out again. So the brash on this guy to, first of all, make it back in, I imagine he put on, remember that old, I think it was like Charlie Chaplin costume? It's like the glasses with the eyebrows and the big nose.
That's Groucho Marx.
Well, there you go. He gets kicked out. He puts that on and then goes back in. I'm someone completely different now. Oh, okay. And then he goes back to the well of taking feet pictures.
I just immediately thought of Tony Atlas. What's Tony doing following the wrestlers around taking pictures of their feet? And I halfway expected to see, like, remember when Flair had that drunken tirade at that bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of expected to see Tony Atlas. I just want to take the pictures of their feet. Bitch!
Well,
Slut, let me take a picture of your feet.
From what I remember of Tony Atlas, he seems like he just wants the feet to step on him, as opposed to just appreciating them.
No, there's a video of him just fucking taking pictures of this lady with her feet up on this table. It's like, ooh. Then later she steps on him, but he was taking pictures.
Oh,
just
like
her feet.
Foreplay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're about to get me, aren't you? Well, yeah, what a creep.
Yeah. That is kind of weird and very specific.
It is. And to get kicked out twice, that's like, Jesus.
That's
the greatest part. He got kicked out, got back in, and still tried to go do what he was doing.
Well, aside from the obvious, what would you do with feet pictures?
I don't know. You know, I've never got into the feet thing.
Me either. Feet are the most disgusting part of the human anatomy.
Like, I never understood, the whole feet fascination.
I had some girl tell me that she likes her toes sucked. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, you gonna do it?
Yeah.
Well, next up, we have a story that's already been debunked, but it is worth talking about here. So everybody complains, that The Rock is taking up time, taking up talent, space. They're not able to build new stars because it's all about him. And then we had the story break that The Rock may be missing WrestleMania. Then everybody got upset at that. Oh, why is he missing WrestleMania? Now, this story has already been debunked by The Rock himself. When I looked into it, it was Dave Meltzer who came up with this information. So you knew it was a lie, but he stated on his Wrestling Observer newsletter or whatever that The Rock was not going to be at WrestleMania 41.
He reported that? And you're saying that's bullshit?
Yeah, The Rock debunked it.
Oh my God.
So don't listen to that.
Okay, can we just have a mandate on the show right now that anything Dave Meltzer reports we just ignore?
Yes, we can try to stay away from Meltzy. Anything Meltzer says.
I mean, if we're going to cover stories, we might as well try to be as accurate as possible, right? Or at least pretend to know what we're talking about. And I think we're immediately starting behind the eight ball if we're leading with Meltzer stories.
True. So yeah, Meltzy, he's banned. No more Meltzy. Or maybe I'll just always add a caveat. Like if it's an interesting enough thing, we'll bring it up and say, well, this is a Meltzer report. So I'm gonna always say it's probably a lie, but yeah, that story's been debunked. So we'll see where WrestleMania goes with The Rock. It was funny because the first report was that, and it's not in stone, it's just on the table, which that's an obvious thing, but The Rock versus Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is on the table for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So we had that first, and then we had Meltzer saying, "Oh, The Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania." The Rock debunks that, so I guess we're back at maybe it's a
Possibly.
triple threat.
I don't like Cody and Roman and Rock 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. Give somebody else a big piece of chicken.
Well, I guess they got to write it where they have it, and then there might be more. We still got to get the one-on-one Rock and Roman.
Do we?
Yeah, and we still got to get Cody Rock. And if The Rock is only doing one show a year, then there you go. But it'll be interesting where it goes. There is a chance it could end up in a triple threat. I can see Roman winning the Royal Rumble, and then he's basically in Cody's position of last year. He wins the Royal Rumble. He's going to challenge Cody Rhodes. The Rock is like, "You're my cousin. You know I got this beef with Cody Rhodes. You're going to give me your spot, but you're going to be okay with it because you're my cousin." And then Roman's like, "No, I'm facing Cody Rhodes." And then it leads to a triple threat match. So I could see that happen.
It's supposed to be the biggest show of the year, and you're just doing Groundhog Day shit. I'm not any more excited for The Rock and Roman versus Cody than I was at the end of the last WrestleMania. In fact, I'm less excited. I think Cody's weaker right now than he was when he won the title.
Yeah, it's definitely less than.
And it's not necessarily Cody's fault. Like, he hasn't had like a Brock Lesnar feud.
Right, yeah. I don't think we're getting like to Randy Orton at WrestleMania or anything.
That'd be cool. Just Randy Orton and Cody, I think, is a natural.
Because you could do that. Randy and Cody, Rock and Roman.
Yeah, let the Samoans do their thing.
Yeah. And maybe they still can. You know, Cody is kind of branching off into the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they stay apart on that. And then, yeah, Rock Roman, or you could either do Roman solo. I was going to say it, but I'm not going to say it. Roman solo at WrestleMania.
You know what you need to do.
Nope.
You know, walk that
Ain't
back.
ready yet.
Walk it.
He is not ready yet.
He's more ready than Solo.
Ah,
Yeah.
Solo's the reason he's where he's at.
No. His name is the reason he's at where he's at. I'm telling you, Jacob Fatu is he was a beast before WWE. Look at him.
Well, on that note, we got one more story. This one is The Undertaker. He has said words and he has pissed off the community again. What words did he say, that you may be asking? So he went on the Hall of Fame podcast with Booker T. They were talking about Bad Blood, going over how good of a card it was, how good the matches were. They also asked him about storytelling and wrestling, pretty much. So he basically said that wrestling is not about the wrestling moves, it is about the storytelling aspect of it. Yes, you got to get in the ring. This is me saying this is not him. Yes, you got to get in the ring eventually, but the story you tell while you're in the ring, the story you tell before you get in the ring, it's more important than what you do inside the ring, per se. Booker T asked him about that, and his direct quote, sorry, this is a long one, but we'll get through it though. All right, so he said, "It is completely two different worlds. Never in a million years could I imagine how athletic these guys are today. I don't know if it was the video games they played as kids, but they're doing video game stuff in the ring. I think sometimes it's a curse because they're so athletic and they rely so much on that aspect that they forget the most important aspect of what we do, and that is storytelling." I mentioned it to two different people, higher ups, and they're like, "Well, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I think at some point we're going to have to figure out a way to get it back in there." So putting the toothpaste back in the tube, he's saying. I'm just thinking about their health, if nothing else. I tell people all the time that people look at me crazy, but any given wrestling match, at some point in the match, you're 2 inches away from something catastrophic happening. I don't know, maybe like diving over the ropes and almost killing yourself. The stuff these guys do, they get reactions from the crowd. It just makes it exponentially more dangerous than it has to be, because after a while, people get desensitized to the crazy moves, the double backflip off the top rope onto the floor. I've seen it done a couple times. Now, what do you have for me? So now you have to continue to push the envelope, or you're not going to get a reaction. It's hard to argue with them because, look, the business is great. It's their era. It is what it is. Being there through the years
And knowing
and
what it
knowing
does to your body, it's like, man, you're not going to have careers like we did. You're going to burn out. You're
you
going to get
tagging
hurt.
in.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And then he went on to talk about the Cody and Roman and so the tag team match that headlined Bad Blood. And he said, they didn't do any double moonsaults. They told a story, and that's why it was so good. So that's pretty much what he said. So fans, they got upset, obviously, because he started talking about not having to do the double backflip. So I guess what they immediately go to is, oh, he's shitting on AEW.
Of course. He's probably shitting on Ricochet, if anything.
Ricochet, Beast Mortos, all of them.
Can you imagine Undertaker sitting down and watching AEW wrestling?
Yeah, he's not watching AEW, but yeah, he wants to go back to a time where storytelling was key. And people were questioning. And remember, this is The Undertaker. Just a few hours ago, we talked about how he had one of the best matches of WrestleMania. So you would think he knows what he's talking about when
he's had some of the
wrestling business.
He's had some of the best matches ever.
Yes. I equate it to if Michael Jordan is talking about basketball and you have some fat slob sitting on his keyboard talking about, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, because maybe he talks about one of the current players and says, oh, he'd be so much better if he did this. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not even good at basketball. That's what I equate it to. Like, this isn't coming from just some nobody. This is The Undertaker saying this has to happen, or this should happen, or this is how you get to the top of the wrestling business. But you got stupid idiot fans questioning this. What are we even doing?
He's right, though. It's all about the spectacle. The actual stories don't make sense. Like, back in the day with Raw, there used to be like a linear story, and then everything else was kind of thrown in with it. But there was shit going on.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's just like moment. Everything's chaotic. It's all fucking attention deficit disorder. There's featured stories, but there's not like a main story. The world champions are afterthoughts on both of their shows, because it's all about Roman on SmackDown and Gunther's just hidden.
They just be Sami Zayn now. There's that. But I get your point. What caught my attention was, haven't I been saying this all along pretty consistently, that, your wrestling moves don't really matter as much. And again, you do have to get in the ring at some point. The bell has to ring. I get that. But
it's like football. You need an offense and a defense. You can't just have a great offense and have a shitty defense. But at the same time, you can't have a shitty defense.
Yeah. Like I watched this clip, Ricochet versus Ospreay. And they just literally traded back and forth poison ranas, like 3 or 4 of them. It's like they're not even selling at this point.
Yeah, they do that a lot. I saw a clip where Orange Cassidy and Pentagon.
Oh, you saw that clip?
Where they did the Canadian Destroyers?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't like the burst of energy that they get. Like, I got a burst of energy so I can powerbomb you, and then I collapse.
Yeah, that is a wrestling trope. But no selling like something like that.
Yeah, there's no fucking way you would just pop up. I don't care if you're on instinct or not. Your instinct would tell you to stay the fuck down.
Yeah, and the most egregious one of all, Orange Cassidy got pile driven on the steel steps and popped right up like nothing happened. He now sold a pile driving on the steps, steel steps, and again, Orange Cassidy of all people.
And the pile drivers, I think it's still banned in WWE.
Yeah,
or at least selective, and it was banned in storyline in WCW. But you have Orange Cassidy, this fucking pocket having motherfucker, no selling on a steel step.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. But on that note, let us know what you think of the Undertaker's comments. Do you agree with him? Remember, he is one of the greatest of all time, so take that information with you when you say if you agree or not.